Esports Tower Rumble in Rocket League. We're broadcasting it from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Tonight we'll find out who is going to be our Rumble champion. The Vets are already in the grand finals. Who will join them from the lower bracket? We kick off tonight with our lower finals between the Stingrays and the Wolves. I'm your host, Artie Rain. Joining me on desk to call all the action is Joe Chigbrow. All right, so last week I was gone. Can you fill me in on what I missed?
So the Vets kind of popped up out of nowhere. A lot of faces that I haven't seen too often, if at all, if I remember correctly. However, they really showed up.
The Vets. This has me thinking like possibly people like Greed.
I don't think Greed's on that. I can't remember.
Quez?
Definitely not those.
What? Okay.
I think further back. I think we're getting close to probably OG level of Esports Tower. But
like Quez is the OG. Like that's, to be blunt, when you say the OG of Esports Tower, it is Quez. So I'm like, what is my brain blanking on? How long has this person been absent? Okay, so this is what we're looking at today. We are going to have the Wolves, the Barracudas, and the Mammoths for today's competitors. This is a double elimination bracket, and then it's going to be best of 3 going into grand finals, which is best of 7. We saw Mammoths, Wolves take on each other. The Wolves moved on. They went on against the Vets and ended up getting dropped down. The Vets did drop the Stingrays down as well. So we had the Mammoths and the Stingrays go up against one another. The Mammoths lost their second life and unfortunately will not move on. The lower finals are going to be between the Wolves and the Stingrays. Who's going to go back to take on the Vets? That is the true question. Before we jump into our games here, I want to give a quick reminder to our friends on Twitch. Support your team, celebrate the successes, and be respectful to the other fans. Mods will remove anyone who violate these chat rules. Of course, most adorable things ever up there for our team logos. And also we have Doc's Keys to the Game presented to you today by Esports Tower. And for Rocket League, Doc's Keys are create the mistakes, punish the overcommits, play the walls better, and demo to disrupt. Score pro advice at esportstower.com, where you can improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. Now we're going to kick off our Rumble, as I mentioned at the start of the cast, with our lower finals between the Wolves and the Stingrays. And whomever ends up winning goes on to the grand final. So best of luck to all 6 players in theory, unless we have some extended rosters going into this first match. It will be a best of 3, and our grand finals are going to be best of 7. So let's hope whichever team ends up winning finishes it quickly so they have as much energy as possible going into our grand finals.
Right off the bat, kickoff in favor of the Stingrays. Leading the pack is essentially Boss. Help of Crazy Cat will not be able to break past the midfield line, unfortunately. Nief keeping into play a little longer. Free Ink with the flick over 1. Essentially Boss with a banging shot towards the back wall is not going to be able to find anything off that. And the clear from Free Ink. Actually, he doesn't make contact, and the confusion causes Torque to own goal. Stingrays will come away with an early lead, not necessarily of their own doing.
And just, there we go, Torque has finally populated over there on our overlay. So we can see that third player, Free Ink's going to elevate, and I think that was a possible intentional give and go. I'm going to say it was. With that being said, essentially Boss is now going to bring the ball to the midfield stripe, lose possession, and leave. Wait, well, they did not. It was Crazy Cat. I am so confused. It happens. I apologize. Nif dunks it down. It's in their own defensive third, though. Stingrays need to find a clear. Instead, it's going to be Torque finding the equalizer. 4 minutes, 17 seconds on the clock.
Just a scrappy play in the corner. The Wolves will come away with their first, tying it up at 0-0 now. We'll have to see if either team is able to break out of the 0-0 line again. Stingrays leading the charge currently. Shot opportunity from Crazy Cat thrown away. Nief tries to play it off the wall, but essentially Boss has to back him up. Oh, he accidentally kicks it up and into Crazy Cat, so they'll clear it on their own. A little bit of a coordination issue there. Squid Bob trying to find the back of the net, but is going to be blocked by Nief from the corner.
Torque has the ball, take an awkward pinch off the ceiling. Crazy Cat will crawl it off the ground. Look to push it forward to Nief, but instead it's going to be Squid Bob who grabs it in the corner. Stolen away by Nief again, who tries to get a pinch with their teammate. Unfortunately, essentially Boss couldn't get it fast enough, so the angle was not there. Ball's reset at the midfield stripe. Essentially Boss pops it up. It gets it past 1. Instead of grabbing it off the rebound from the back wall, it's going to be Nief instead after a couple unfortunate whiffs from a few different people, and that puts the Wolves in the lead.
Stingrays, I believe, actually.
Oh, my apologies. Yes, the Stingrays.
Yeah, Stingrays.
I'm only on my first Red Bull for the day, let the record show. I'm still waking up.
Oh, goodness. What would we do without the second Red Bull?
Exactly.
Now Niff trying to get a pass over to Crazy Cat. they're not quite able to make the same play they made before. Freak is going to shut it down, almost does it all on his own. But now that steady defense from the Stingrays pushing through. Squid Bob's not quite able to make the block. The pressure from Stingrays is beginning to mount. That's what led to their last goal. Repeated shots at the back of the net, but they're not quite going to be able to do it this time. Nif has to reset the play entirely.
On a completely different note, Squid Bob, you need to change your car colors for being on the orange team. Now we got Crazy Cat looking to dunk the ball down. Instead, it's Asfree Inc. is going to be saving it, bringing it across midfield stripe into the corner now. Defensive third for Stingray territory. Free Inc. is forced to leave it as there's a double commit from the defense. It does allow them to get possession. Crazy Cat plays it off the wall, but there's no one home for their team. They have to wait for essentially Boss to finally get involved in the play. Squid Bob steals the ball away. So instead goes to Nif right in front of the goal. Shot too high, rebound too late from Crazy Cat, and it's going to be popped back up to midfield stripe by Squid Bob.
Boss taps it down at the corner. Crazy Cat trying to find a way out, works together with Boss to find a clear to the other side of the field. Nif now leading the charge, that mounting defense for the Stingrays beginning. Nif is able to match off the ceiling, creates a play opportunity here for the Stingrays. Free Inks trying to go for the weird clear, can't get it. Boss setting up the pass. Nif with the shot down, ends up setting up a pass again over to Crazy Cat. Takes the shot from the midfield. They will pelt it the backboard 3 times now, but no shots taken, and it will convert and pass the midfield line.
Ball's right in front of Stingray's goal. Does get cleared, but in a dangerous way as it's completely crossing the stripe in front of the goal box. Crossing midfield stripe, double commit from the Stingrays on this offensive opportunity. Torque goes for the 2-on-1, finds the clear, sends it into the corner. It looks like Squid Bob tried to be there to corral it, couldn't find it. Now we've got an awkward four-car pileup in front of the goal. Does finally have a turnover into the defensive third of Wolves territory. Cross-map shot from Crazy Cat. We'll see. No replay. I'm going to say that was cross-map shot for you, Crazy Cat. That's going to bring the Stingrays up to 3.
A midfield negative angle redirect from the Stingrays will find them another goal. Boss almost had an open net there again. Doesn't think he has the angle, so he slaps against the wall. Now Crazy Cat's looking to recreate the play, but Free Ink stops him in his tracks. A battle at the midfield line off the wall will begin, but Torque looks like he's coming out on top. Takes the shot towards the back of the net, blocked by Nif, and they have to reset the play entirely.
Shot on goal, nobody's home. Crazy Cat couldn't elevate. Thank goodness there's no replays, or we might have seen an unfortunate own goal from Crazy Cat, just barely getting a nose on that ball. Kickoff. Looks like miscommunication possibly, as you always know who goes for that ball. It's never the person directly in the middle. Correctly if I'm wrong, Tacky, unless it's communicated, because that was an awkward kickoff coming out from the Stingrays.
It's hard to say without having access to their comm. Nevertheless, the coordination was not there in that moment. We'll have to see if they can fix it in this last 30 seconds, but Stingrays steadily leading. The Wolves need a way out, but they will not be allowed it. The security goal from essentially Boss all the way from the midfield line, punishing a lacking Wolves back line. They have to start getting their defense in line and get that offensive pressure going if the Wolves have any chance of coming back in these last 20 seconds.
I mean, that's a goal every 12 seconds. Not positive they can do it, but an overcommit on this goal-scoring opportunity by the Stingrays might be capitalized on, but it needs to be done quickly. Ball's perfectly centered up, but Squid Bob does not cut into the play fast enough. I don't know what happened. Maybe they just didn't think it was possible, but anything's possible until that clock hits 0-0. They needed to have set up the plays faster. No time is left, basically. Crazy Cat's going to shoot it all the way into the opposite corner. Ball hits the ground, and with that, I do believe that Stingrays walk away with that first game victory.
Yeah, game 1 for the Stingrays. Like we've said before, though, not sure how much game 1 matters with Esports Tower. We could end up going to the Esports Tower Classic best of 3, but right now the Stingrays are pretty solid.
We're in a best of 3 anyway, aren't we? That's what I was looking for.
Esports Tower best of 1.
Let the record show, though, that even on different broadcasts, it's like a curse that I now carry with me, which is no matter what, I'm told one thing and production thinks and is told one thing as well, and then all of a sudden we're in game 2 or like game 3 just magically starts and all of us are like, what? And they're like, oh, okay, apparently it's a best of 7. That happened twice this weekend. It was absolutely hilarious. I wasn't even working for Esports Tower. Wasn't here at Boise State. So, you know, it happens. It's just crazy. So we'll have to see, is this actually a best of 3? Is it a best of 5 or is it a best of 7? I guess the players will end up telling us.
Nif is looking to make a comeback all the same. Has his work cut out for him. Crazy Cat working together with essentially Boss. 50-50 isn't good quite yet. The defense holding strong for the Wolves, are able to cross the midfield line. Now they have to create a play of their own, but all the bumps in the corner are going to prevent them from putting anything strong together yet. Battle at the midfield line. No pressure for either team yet.
Essentially, Boss ends up getting demoed, sent back to that respawn screen. They are back, though. It looks like... Okay, I have never in all of my, I think, grand total of 2 hours playing Rocket League sat there and waited for a corner boost, but I guess that is the strategy sometimes. Essentially, Boss now back in the play is going to look for an opportunity to dunk this ball down. It does look like Crazy Cat also grabbed that corner boost, so unfortunately that little bit of showiness might have taken everything that essentially Boss had in their tank. They will refill at the other side. All three members very close and bunched up here in their defensive third. Nif recognizes the Crazy Cat has the opportunity to get it clear. Who managed to place around one off the wall. They have to get it around the one defender that's left, but instead of going for the pop-up and high corner play, they just decide to try and juke them, and they will not juke Free Inc.
A lot of demos so far this game. I believe there's already been 2 or 3. Not quite an edge for either team yet. It seems like Squid Bob might be having connection issues in the net.
Oh no,
oh,
Squid.
He's out now.
You good? Are you back, my friend?
Maybe. Maybe he's gone.
Wait,
we have Torque.
We have 2 Torques.
Twice.
Yeah, I think Squid Bob might unfortunately DC'd. I think in this instance our rule is it's been over a minute, so we can't restart. Sorry. Yeah, we have 2 members currently alive for the side of the Wolves. A 2-on-3 is still doable. It's just you have to play the game perfectly. There's less room for mistakes, and if Nif tries to get a little bit flashy, they might get punished. And it looks like, Free Inc. also is having some connection issues, so possibly it is a server side and not a client side problem happening right now. With that being said, Stingrays are only up by 1. Oh, sorry, apologies, they're up by 2. I can do math. But there's 3 minutes left. That's plenty of time for things to get worked out, and especially for our lost teammate to come back.
Yeah, I think it's definitely important to note. I think it was last week that we saw a team actually lose a 2v3 that they definitely should have won. They had a man up, but
it's called not respecting the person you're going up against, the enemy team. You always got to come in with respect. That is not how you do it.
Well, the Wolves have found a goal, weirdly enough, without one of their teammates. We'll have to see if they're able to put together that perfect play, like you mentioned before. But definitely not the position you want to be in if you're the Wolves right now in a best 2 out of 3, if that is the scenario. You definitely don't want to be losing a man when you need 1 game to stay alive.
And Free Inc. and Torque both just got demoed off during that defense. So there's nothing they could have done. Essentially, Boss off kickoff's going to find another goal. It seems like the play here for the Stingrays is that we want to be flashy, and the way we're going to do it is that we're not going to do anything actually really, cool as far as our play style goes. We're just going to make you look really flashy, as in sending you back in a puff of smoke to the respawn screen.
Long clear from Torque will defuse the situation, but not being able to remain in control of the play is just going to put them in a dangerous position. You can see it essentially Boss has so much time to cut in there and create another opportunity for Nif with the pass, but it's not good. Torque almost is able to score off of that poor clear. They have to reset now. Free Inc. has control of the play. It looks like he's going for the solo play, rightfully so, but the clear from Crazy Cat will stop that play in its tracks, and now the Wolves have to retreat as fast as they can. No man behind them.
Sometimes there's this thing that you kind of call the competitive integrity of the sport. It's a little vague, but that's intentional. And it's for situations, I believe, like this, which is you're in a 2-on-3 situation, and you already have the leg up even before the disconnect happens. The question is, how do you keep this game an enjoyable experience for all those involved, and not just one where it makes the other team feel like, well, why didn't I just disconnect at that point? And I think that's where that phrase really comes into play here. And instead of just trying to go for, double demos and open goal opportunities, it would be nice to see the Stingrays go for, actually, decent passes, good give and goes, playing around the defenders as opposed to just sending them to the respawn screen.
Yeah, I think it's important to note, especially with these tournaments, that there's always at least bragging rights up for grabs, but at the end of the day, Esports Tower is a organization really centered on self-improvement and becoming the best player at the game that you enjoy, that you can be.
And part of that comes with good sportsmanship.
Part of that comes with good sportsmanship, and part of that comes with using your time effectively. Maybe this is a good opportunity to practice passing plays like you mentioned, or have one player play a little bit more defense than usual just to get everyone a little bit more involved, to get us closer to a 2v2. But at the end of the day, I don't know if I can fault them for, as long as they're not, completely destroying Wolves, I don't think I can fault them for still playing a little bit sweaty when they're this close to a grand finals opportunity.
I mean, you're not going to close my math. You're not going to close a score for a 5-goal differential at this point. It's just not going to happen, you know? So there's no need for this. It would be nice to see them going for those passing plays.
Definitely have to
Or
agree
doing
on
what
that.
we saw Gababy do 2 weeks ago and chilling back near the goal line and playing more passively to see, like, how much being passive actually impacts the play. Like, you're taking attention nonetheless. You're a force that's there. You're a defensive wall. People are always going to be aware that you're right there. So it forces them to adapt. So, like, playing that patient game, working on that is important.
Definitely all good ideas. Almost exactly what we saw there a second ago on that last goal. The passing play into the doink will get the Stingrays their 8th goal, but not that that matters at this point. This was a weird play. I couldn't tell who hit it. But Stingrays down with 9 goals. They're well secured into winning this series and coming out on top of the Wolves. Definitely not what you wanted if you're the Wolves. Feel a little bit bad for them, to say the least. Squid Bob, rest in peace.
Yes, I don't know what happened. I got confirmation that Squid Bob DC'd and was unable to rejoin. And unfortunately, in a best-of-3 series, disconnecting after your team's already down 1 means odds are that's the end of the road. It happens sometimes. You know, technology's not always our best friend, or their Ethernet port got unplugged. One or the other. All right, so we kind of mentioned it earlier. Esports Tower, they really, really want to improve you as a player personally and help you, expand your horizons, get scholarships, things of that nature. And they also want to help you increase your teaming skills because that's really important to helping level up your success overall. And as we progress through this evening, you'll see it more and more because Esports Tower really takes the time to create teams of well-matched teammates. And I'd like to give a shout out to Coach Jake. And if you're watching and haven't checked out the Esports Tower Club, you definitely should. It's a fast track to help you rank up. So the Stingrays take care of the Wolves and set themselves up for a showdown against the Vets in the Grand Finals. Vets, I'm really excited to see who in the world you have on your roster because I was not here last week. This will be a treat for me. With that being said, do you have any predictions or suggestions for the Stingrays going into this next game? Because I definitely have some words of advice.
I mean, it's hard to remember the exact details of last time I got to see the Vets play, but they were pretty spotless when they did play. So honestly, if I have to make a prediction, I have to make a prediction in favor of the Vets. And the Stingrays, I don't really know how that series would have gone if Squid Bob was able to continue play.
I hope that broadcast might be able to get like a zoom in on me when I say this. You should have taken your last game more seriously as a warm-up as opposed to just demoing people because it ain't going to work in the next game. Good luck. Thank you, production. Y'all are the best. There we go. Yeah, so good luck, Stingrays. Just from what I've heard about the Vets, they are a formidable team, and you really should have taken what time you had against this squad, whether it be a 3-man or a 2-man, to fully warm up. That's the integrity. That's the competitive integrity of esports. That is sportsmanship. And instead, you just demoed people off cooldown, and that's not going to work in a full 3-on-3 type of lineup in our next game. So good luck is all I have to say about that. But we'll see how that best of 5, not best of 7. I almost cried. Game goes, but first we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back here in just a few minutes.
We're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day. We're going to save families from disaster and feed those left in the cold. We invite you to join us. The next greatest generation is now.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your Guard adventure.
Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Protecting your customer journey from fraud is critical. According to industry analysts, Count's AI-driven platform is the leading solution. From account login to digital payments, Count is recognized for both its customer impact and technology excellence. Learn more at count.com.
Broadcast the Esports Tower Rumble in Rocket League. We're broadcasting from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. There's our fabulous production squad who gave me that fabulous zoom in earlier during my moment of seriousness. With that being said, welcome back. We're about to hop into our grand finals. You can see our gorgeous Overwatch team on stage. But nonetheless, we'll see them later. Right now, the important aspect is our Esports Tower players, and we actually want to really put a heavy spotlight on them because we want to take a quick moment to congratulate each of our Esports Tower club members who've graduated from the clubs and been offered scholarships across the country. Over the last 3 months, Esports Tower club members have been offered over $3.9 million in scholarship awards. Holy crud, $2.6 million of that is just Rocket League. That's ridiculous. Okay. These students have not only worked hard on their in-game play, but have worked hard academically and to earn these scholarship opportunities. The players that receive these scholarships are talented, hardworking, and driven, and we cannot be more excited and proud to see all the opportunities these players are getting. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Look forward to seeing what your future has in store. As after all, I don't only cast Esports Tower, so I might see you down the road in a different organization or might see you here in the very own Bronco Arena. With that being said, nicely done, all of you, and best of luck to anyone who's hoping to get their own esports scholarship. Now, we have grand finals coming up. This is a long series.
Yeah.
Just, you couldn't see it on camera, but Joe's face was just like, oh yeah.
That's well, it just went by so fast.
It did.
The last series just felt so fast, and now hopping straight into the grand finals. We're about to see the Vets and the Stingrays.
I'm excited.
Should be a fireworks show.
I'm real. Do you mean that in the form of someone's going to be spending a lot of time on the respawn screen fireworks? Because that's kind of what the animation looks like, or just it's just going to be an explosive game.
General explosions. There's going to be demos. There's going to be a lot of goal explosions. It's just going to be, I imagine, that it's going to be the most controlled chaos we can get, to be honest.
I'm a fan of controlled chaos, but in regards to that controlled chaos, Doc does kind of encourage that a little bit himself through Doc's Keys of the Game, presented to you today by the Esports Tower. And they are for Rocket League: create the mistakes, punish the overcommits, play the walls better, and demo to disrupt. That's that controlled chaos. Score pro advice at esportstower.com, where you can improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with players and great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. So this is a rematch from last week's round one. To me, it's not a rematch. It's the first time I get to see it. With that being said, the Vets did sweep the Stingrays in round one, which is a little bit unfortunate. But the question now is, did the Stingrays warm up enough? Did they practice enough in the last week? Are they able to topple the Vets? Or are the Vets just going to stick with the trend and being like, no, I don't care how long this series is. It's going to end as soon as we're done with the first 3 or 4 games. With that being said, excited to see how this goes for the first 5 minutes. This is a best-of-7 series. So 4 games is what you need. The question is, who's going to get those 4 games first? I'm just going off of what I see here. It's best-of-7. Yes, it's best-of-7 up here as well. All right, so... Oh, my God. This is... Okay. I don't know who best selfish movement player is. I have a couple hunches. But Buddy RV, it has been a hot minute. DJ TJ, it's good to see you as well. Best selfish movement player. Please don't change your name. Change it back to whatever the heck it used to be so that I actually know who you are. With that being said, yes, this is a treat. It's been a very long time since I've seen these players. I believe Buddy used to actually play for Forsyth High School, so now that they're in the Esports Tower, that's really cool. Look forward to seeing more of your posts on TikTok. And congratulations to the Vets for finding their first goal.
Best Selfish Movement player actually was the title he used last week as well, and he won player of the game.
That must have been a mouthful for the ICCU player read that we had for the host.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a long one, but he worked for it for sure. He popped off that day.
I mean, no doubt, but if the name like Vets, you got to think these are players that are returning. I mean, I know DJ TJ, I know Buddy RV. So my question is, Best Selfish Movement player, who are you?
He's the secret tech. Buddy RV currently being his own secret tech. Oh!
No, it's more like the Stingrays are being Buddy RV's secret tech. Oh, you're lucky we don't have any replays, Stingrays, because, oof, that was not good.
Yeah, he cut the first defender and then pinched it off the wall and just caught the Stingray defense off guard. TJ is now trying to take a shot all the way from the midfield line. Buddy RV's barely able to get in the way. They're not safe yet. The shot is just a little high, however. They have to reset. The Vets starting out explosively a 2-0 lead with just a little bit more than a minute off the clock. They continue to dominate at the midfield line looking for passes to teammates, but it'll just be a little wide.
We do kind of have all three members of the Vets a little bit bunched up here. That midfield control there it is. They're rotating back. Need to get those a little bit more on lock, but they have figured out. It seems it's not punishing them just yet. They are in the lead by 2 with 3 minutes 12 seconds on the clock. Ball is spending a lot of time here in the defensive third of Stingray territory. As it hits the midfield stripe, it's pitched right back towards that back defensive third. So let's see if essentially Boss is able to elevate. They're collided with by their own teammates. Perhaps that demolition play that they played earlier today is coming out and being their Achilles heel as they're just being a little bit ball greedy.
Buddy RV with a 50-50 is able to get past the midfield line. Stingrays really just have not had that much control of the side very often. The Vets have been able to get out of their end pretty efficiently most of the time. A shot here from Best Selfish Movement player. Not quite good. Nif with the clear out. They'll cross the midfield line, but for how long? Buddy RV is able to get past one. He has control of the play, so he can get past the line. DJ TJ with the shot, but they just can't find the back of the net.
Best Selfish Movement player dunks the ball down, pops up over Crazy Cat, and they bop it back over them. Essentially, Boss cuts in to try and get in the passing lane. Doesn't work out too well as DJ TJ grabs the ball off the back wall, sends it coast to coast. Now it's in defensive third of Stingray territory. Buddy RV trying to crawl it away from Crazy Cat. Crazy Cat pushes it to essentially Boss, but Best Selfish Movement player is going to demo them instead, so Crazy Cat tries to come in, get pressure on that ball, cannot find it. DJ TJ has Buddy RV for the pass back. They use Buddy RV. That is some beautiful give and go just to get pressure away from DJ TJ. Ball in defensive third of Stingray territory. Shot on goal is going to touch that crossbar. Reset play coming out from Buddy RV.
Essentially, Boss clearing it out using his own backboard. An opportunity here, but DJ TJ is able to keep it out. Pass over to his teammate, Best Selfish Movement player, who takes the double tap. And that is possibly one of the better team plays we've seen in a while. Oh, I wish we had a replay on that one. A great double tap coming all the way from the sidewall and a setup from the midfield line.
Right before that, I got so scared.
Definitely the type of explosivity that I was expecting this series. We'll have to see if they're able to hold on to the lead. They only have a minute and 20 left to just hang on with that 3-0. We'll have to see if they can do it. They can't, actually. Almost immediately off the bat, it looks like we have a new player on the side of the Stingrays. C.
I don't know. We'll call them C. We'll stick with that. Well, that being said, Crazy Cat currently on the respawn. Ball gets popped up in front of Stingray's net. It's going to be C. C got demoed. I'm sorry. I was not anticipating seeing C. I'm getting used to it. When player changes happen midway through a game, it's a little confusing. But, sometimes you just got to roll with it. Now, essentially, Boss takes the shot. It's going to be way too gosh darn high, and it's going to go wide into the corner as well off of the rebound play. C takes the shot. It's going to just waterfall down to DJ TJ. Just get challenged by essentially Boss. Buddy RV trying to corral this ball away from Crazy Cat. Instead, DJ TJ with Buddy get a strange pinch. It works out. Ball kisses the ceiling. C tries to clear it to the side to reset it for Crazy Cat. They have to slow down. And there's an awkward couple touches between the two of them, so the ball gets a great clear from DJ TJ, hits the backboard, and goes coast to coast again.
Just bouncing between both sides of either player or either team's net so far. Buddy RV looking to get control of the side again. It felt like since C has switched in, Stingrays have had a little bit more control of the side, but they have not been able to properly turn around the game. The Vets will still come out on top in game 1. Only 3 more victories to go, although that feels like a while when I say it out loud, honestly.
It does. It feels a bit strange. I mean, in theory, if we're going to go to the Esports Tower best of 3, this next game has to go in favor of the Stingrays, and that puts us to the best of 5. And then the next 2 games, once again, have to reiterate Vets and then Stingrays, and then we're at the Esports Tower best of 3. That's a lot of Rocket League. Right now, the Vets are showing no signs of weakness. There were a couple moments where there's some weird situations happening, but it seems, of course, we're not in on the comms, but you can kind of tell by what's happening on the field if they're communicating, and that's the standard, when you're watching a soccer game. I'm talking like kid soccer because you're not on the field. You're not close enough in professional soccer, but you hear kids talk to each other, and they'll say, you've got time or you've got pressure, and that tells their teammate, if they have the ball, I've got to give this to someone else quickly or it's going to be stolen. Or they can take a couple of dribbles and bring the ball up a little bit further. Situations like that. And you can tell that happens, especially at that midfield moment where we had DJ do a give and go to their teammate. And it was perfect. It prevented someone from cutting in and stealing that ball. Now, alternatively, it could be the logo diff here because the Vets only one using a non-animal-based logo this week.
It's a little bit of both because I think we have them using a different Wolves logo during most of the other. Yeah, you see the Vets here, and now they have their funny wolf logo.
Yeah, it's a logo diff. That's what I'm saying. It's the evolution of the logo diff.
Definitely might be the case here. Buddy RV leading that charge in the corner. DJ has to get the setup off the back wall. Not quite able to do anything else with it. We'll have to see if the kind of pressure the Vets had over the last game remains true. Looks like actually we have C is now not playing anymore. We have Nif in.
I think Nif might have DC'd, and to prevent a reiteration of what occurred in our previous game, they just had someone come in immediately, and so we didn't notice. Or Nif accidentally did. I don't know the process one has to go through to change their name very easly in Rocket League. I'm pretty sure you have to leave the lobby to do that. So I do think Nif DC'd, and so we had someone who just could fill immediately in for Nif. But that being said, goal already scored for the Vets. Less than a minute in, so it seems to be very reminiscent of what we saw earlier. I do believe they're playing a slightly less fast-paced tempo than we saw earlier, just because it's the realization of we still got to win 4 games in total. Let's pull back a little bit.
That, or maybe they've just, towards the end of the last game, started to find a little more respect for the Stingrays. Like we said, the Stingrays seem to have a little bit more control over the last couple minutes of game 1. But so far, I would say the Vets, even if they're playing a little slower, they're still playing pretty confidently. They're making sure they're passing to teammates. They're hitting it to spots that they can still control. We'll have to see if that remains true. A shot from the midfield line, barely off, but Crazy Cat will clear it away anyway. A hit off of the corner of the wall leaves essentially Boss up for grabs, but he's not able to do anything with it. So Buddy RV will 50 towards the sidewall and look for a passing play, more than likely.
Shot on goal. TJ looks like I needed a replay of that. I don't know how DJ got the touch on it necessary to find the net because it looked like it went right past them. With that being said, it's another goal for the Vets. 3 minutes, 24 seconds on the clock. DJ just tries to do a barrel roll to get that ball into the net. Yeah, it's a little bit too slow. Essentially, Boss crossing midfield stripe with possession. Ball's way too far in front of them, though. That's going to be a problem. Buddy RV pops it up to set it to best selfish movement player, but at midfield, though, Nif tries to create the pressure to prevent it from crossing the stripe. It does. TJ sets it up for best selfish movement player. It's a mouthful. It's going to be Nif who steals the ball away, though.
Essentially, Boss crosses the midfield line. TJ gets the tap, ends up leaving it for best selfish movement player. Hits it all the way downfield into the corner. Crazy Cat trying to find a way past this midfield line. He's just not able to do it. Buddy RV continues to be one of the forces allowing the Vets to stay in control of pressure. We have kind of seen a reiteration of last game now. We're back to that 3-0 lead for the Vets. We're back to a position where the Vets are in primary control of side and are leading on the consistent end as well.
That's a sign of a strong team. Is this going to finally be a team that can topple the Barracudas when they make their return? I think so, or at least go toe-to-toe with them. That makes me happy to see. I love Esports Tower creating, more really high-level teams or just bringing back players that we haven't seen in a long time to do that. But I think the Stingrays right now need to, take a page out of another Esports player book. Nano, who tends to go for, Nano does, and even Crazy Cat sometimes goes for those demolition plays and just is constantly demoing a couple people or one person in particular. And the coaches stress the importance of Buddy RV being a scoring threat in this game who could basically single-handedly handle an entire game or series by himself. So perhaps the respect needs to be given to Buddy and send him to the respawn screen, of course, you know, respectfully.
Definitely have to agree there. Not quite the clear they were looking for, but they're able to find a way out. Pressure is in favor of the Stingrays right now, but a demo onto the third man create an opportunity. 2 players commit to that after the demo. This could be dangerous. They're just barely able to keep it in play. If the Vets had any more control of that ball, it would have been a disaster, but TJ not able to pinch it past them. They're battling at their own midfield line now. For once, they don't feel like the pressure is in their favor, and Crazy Cat will wind up and find the back of the net and around an alarmingly similar time where they found their first goal last game as well.
Okay, but so the thing here is that we got 90 seconds left, and earlier when we hit that 4-goal mark for the Vets, it was at the 2-minute mark. So in my head, I was like, they need a goal every 30 seconds. Right at the end of that first 30-second period, Stingrays find 1 goal. So if they could find another here within the next 15 seconds or so, they are setting the pace to actually be able to bring this back in their favor. 2 goals in a minute, doable, but they need to get this ball out of their defensive third. There's a lot of issues I'm seeing with 3-man commits there on defense like that just are preventing them from finding clears and breakaways and just being corralled, surrounded, and conquered right now by the Vets.
It definitely feels like the Vets have a very high conversion rate of having crossed the midfield line and finding the back of the net. Very efficient use of their offensive players. But the Stingrays have been putting up a little bit of a side control fight in the last minute. They just have to convert now, and they have to be able to hold the defensive line long enough to convert in general.
Ball crosses midfield stripe, goes into the defensive third territory for the Stingrays. It's Crazy Cat who's there. Nif comes back to help. Crazy Cat tries to get that ball to midfield, but it's ricocheted to the back wall. We have off the side pass to Buddy RV for an attempted shot on goal. So that's going to be DJ TJ's who's just pin drops down into the net. And again, that's the moment I want a replay of. Your face tells me that we could have utilized a replay there. But I digress. We got to keep going. Stingrays trailing by 5. There's 25 seconds left on the clock. It's probably impossible to find a goal over 5 seconds, but could they find 1 or 2 here? I think so. They just need to get this ball out of their territory.
Far from doomed. They still, even if Vets walk away with this one, which I would say it is more than likely at this point, even if they walk away with this one, the Vets still have 2 more games they have to win. There's so much Rocket League left to play. Even if they look dominant right now, we have no idea when they will wear down, if at all. Stingrays have an opportunity here, but they're going to need to make better use of their 5 minutes in Game 3.
Most definitely. I mean, the Esports Tower best of 3 is not out of the cards yet.
No, definitely not.
Stingrays just got to win 2 in a row. I mean, if the Vets can do it, the Stingrays definitely can do it. But the question is, will they do it? I don't know. They've got roughly 10 minutes to figure that out because no matter what, we've got 2 more games.
Yeah.
End of the day.
Yep,
That's just how it is. So is it going to be the Stingrays getting 2 games? Is it going to be the side of the Vets getting 2 games? Or is it going to be 1 apiece? I'm fine with the 1 apiece, but either way, it's still, we're guaranteed 2 more. 10 minutes at the minimum here. Let's see how they shake out. There's some things that need to be fixed for the side of the Stingrays very heavily. We'll get about 60 seconds to figure it out.
Yep.
If you were their coach right now, what would you say?
I don't know. I think I would go back to playing confidently and making sure you're spreading out and just trying to get quality touches. Making sure, because at the end of the day, the Vets are keeping very quality pressure and making sure that they can't cross the midfield line. But at the end of the day, they're not playing so aggressive that you're not able to think about what you're doing so much. It's not that really fast-paced, Hail Mary playstyle that we see out of the Barracudas. It's where you
called out
a little bit of time to think about what you're doing and make sure that you're finding teammates. And part of the reason that you have that time is because they're doing the exact same thing. They're taking their time with their plays, they're being methodical, and they're making sure that their touches have intent or at least are quality enough to be followed up on. It's just going to require really working together as a team. And once you get that first win, once you get that first 2-goal lead, that security situation, once they have that confidence, all bets are off. Sometimes that's all you need.
I agree with you on that. I don't know. It's very interesting that we have such dynamic play styles for the Esports Tower teams. We got DJ TJ coming in fast and furious, finding a first goal in 26 seconds. But, I mean, you know, you got the Barracudas who are almost what I'd describe as frantic, very aggressive and quick gameplay. And then we have the Vipers of old who are calm, cool, and calculated, always doing like very succinct, intentional passing plays, finding goal-scoring opportunities, not forcing the opportunity, but looking for the mistakes to capitalize on. Typically lower scoring games, but nonetheless they'd come out on top. And then right now, we've got the Vets who have this very calculated play style is the best way for me to place it.
Definitely. I would say, I would even go as describing it as not necessarily calculated, because they do mix in that good aggression as well. But I would describe it as seasoned.
I mean, Buddy just literally predicted where this defender was going to go for the defensive play there and utilized it. That's the second time we've seen him do that.
Yes. It's very calculated, to say the least, on those specific plays, but it's very well, I would say, polished as well to go with it. TJ definitely being a big part of that. Almost finding the net there too, but just barely hitting it off of the back of the net. Now the reset for the Stingrays. They have an opportunity here, but Buddy RV not able to make it happen, or not able to let them have that, to say the least.
Ball is still the defensive third of Stingray territory as we have just under 3 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. The Vets have found 2 goals. They're looking to find a couple more. TJ goes for the setup. Is unable to find anything as the ball gets cleared to the midfield stripe. But Buddy, with that great midfield pressure, does end up allowing Best Selfish Movement player to bring the ball into the defensive third of Stingrays again.
Essentially, Boss getting another long clear towards the back of the net, but barely thwarted the last minute by the Vets defense. Nif leading the way into the corner now. Have to find a way past this Vets defense. They're doing such a good job of utilizing all their teammates. Buddy RV cutting in to create the opportunity. Now, essentially, Boss just has to throw it away, and Best Selfish Movement player gets the next touch. They're not able to keep control of the play, however, as Stingrays take it into their own corner.
Best Selfish Movement player, not Schmovement. One of my own players was making me say Schmovement. Does try to get a shot in. It does get deflected by Nif, now carrying across midfield stripe. Buddy RV looking for the coast-to-coast play. Ends up dunking it down into the corner. It's going to be an elevation from Best Selfish Movement player. Ball gets dunked at the mid. Crazy Cat looks for an opportunity. Has essentially Boss get in over them instead. Ball cleared from the back wall by TJ into the defensive third of Stingray territory.
Buddy RV trailing past Crazy Cat, ends up leaving it, goes for the back post rotation. Not quite able to make anything of it. Playing it into the corner, slowly trying to work their way out, making sure they have the clear opportunity. TJ is going to go for the solo play, ends up leaving it for Buddy RV. The coordination on point. They're able to get past the midfield line. Maybe a shot opportunity here, but I think it'll spill out the Nif. Not quite, but the clear is good. Buddy RV with a follow-up will keep the pressure on the side of the Vets a little longer. Now, the play will diffuse a little bit at the midfield line as they look for the double tap opportunity, and they will get it. The second one of today. Best Selfish Movement player will get another double tap using the pass from his teammate again.
And it does look like we have some disruption happening on the end of the internet connection. You know, technology isn't always everyone's best friend. It happens. So far, we're sitting at a 3-0 scoreline in favor of the Vets. I think we might have the opportunity to throw to a quick commercial break, though, if this issue prolongs, just in case, to make sure these players have extra time. I mean, sometimes if someone DCs or, like, the server crashes, it's the most tilting experience in the world, speaking from my own personal perspective. Actually, the Vets do apparently end up walking away with that victory, so that places them at match point?
Yep, match point 3-0 in a best of 7. So we're looking at a reverse sweep opportunity, a make-or-break situation now for the Stingrays.
I gave every possible different variation of outcomes as far as the scoreboard goes for this, so it's fine if the Stingrays win this next one, I'll still be right. It's fine if the Vets win this one, I'll still be right. We'll have to wait and see. It could go either way. We've got 5 minutes. Stingrays really got to work on, you know, ensuring we're having less double commits, spreading out. And there's something known as faith and trust in your teammates, and that's understanding that they will be doing their job and having their strong rotations and doing it in a timely manner. We do not need all 3 of our members huddling up together like penguins in front of the net on the goal line.
Definitely have to agree there. And honestly, if you're the Stingrays, are you even necessarily focused on any element of counterplay going into Game 4, or are you just focused on fixing your own issues right now?
Truly, I have to go with fixing out your own issues. I mean, counterplay is difficult because it means you have to set the new play style, so to speak, and it has to be one that is the opposite of, like, does not, I guess as the name counterplay intends, it directly infringes upon how the other team is intending on setting things up. With that being said, I think, you know, the side of the Stingray team needs to just focus on good, clean rotations, avoiding demolitions, and ensuring they're doing give and goes.
Definitely have to agree there. The Vets will come out on top early again. That early pressure has been mounting for them all of this series. It seems like they've got a pretty good efficiency down for those first 30 seconds finding the back of the net. Stingray's just not able to hold on to that kind of pressure. Even though the Vets are pretty methodical, it seems like their offensive line is pretty well shaped out.
Off the back wall, we have Crazy Cat try to send it across midfield stripe, but that midfield presence is so strong from the Vets, and they're demoing just to make sure that they can get opportunities to find reset plays as well. And it's making any offensive opportunities very difficult for the Stingrays. An overcommit means Nif has to rotate back extremely fast, and Buddy RV is able to capitalize on the mistake and find another goal for the Vets.
That'll be a third time now that Buddy RV has actually managed to pull off that play. Maybe that's something he's been practicing. DJ TJ now leading the pack, trying to find the back of the net with the help of Buddy RV. The 50-50, not quite good. Best salvage movement player pushing it towards the wall. Now hitting it off the sidewall, not quite able to make anything of it yet. They'll pass the midfield line. Buddy RV with the follow-up in the corner. Has to get past one, has Nif. Does win the 50-50 out. Gets to play it off the sidewall. Passes it over, it's wide. Essentially Boss with the whiff. Now with the pass out mid. Not quite able to make anything of it, so TJ will hit it towards the back wall. A follow-up from Essentially Boss is not quite good. Wait a little longer here, Buddy RV. Just trying to play it slow, tries to get the pass opportunity. Best selfish movement player, the 50-50 crossover. Not good for either team, really. Neither team really advanced the board state, and they will rest at the midfield line.
Ball is going to be set into the defensive third. Stingray territory. Essentially Boss goes for the elevation, is knocked down by their own teammate. Once again, got to make sure that you aren't trying to be too greedy and, you know, letting your teammates do what they do. Again, faith and trust in your teammates. If your teammate has the ball, why would you go after them?
I am not quite sure. I mean, you could follow up on kind of a 90-degree angle if you think they might go for a 50-50 that might spill out in your direction, especially if they're playing towards the wall, but that doesn't seem to be the case in that particular situation now. Nif has to get past the midfield line. He's able to do it, but he can't remain in control, so Buddy RV will hit it and take it all the way to the other side. We could see another opportunity for some aerial play here. Best selfish movement player, not quite able to make contact. Crazy Cat ends up leaving it to cross onto the other side. And now Essentially Boss leading the pack is not able to find anything as the pass from DJ TJ is going to go the full length of the pitch.
He's going the distance. With that being said, we got Crazy Cat trying to play it around one, but the pressure coming straight from that midfield. Essentially Boss is going to get demoed, sent back to that respawn screen. Crazy Cat and Nif try to put some pressure on the best selfish movement player, but can't really get any touch on that ball. Buddy RV and DJ TJ play it into the corner. Ball in defensive third for the Stingrays as we have 1:40 seconds left on the clock. 100 seconds. There's 2 goals to equalize if you're rooting for the Stingrays. That's 1 every 50. The question is, can they do it?
Another backboard read opportunity, and he will have it. A third one to his name off of the pass from his teammate, and we will be leading. The Vets will be leading now 3-0 with 1:30 left on the clock. Stingrays need to find a change, and they need to find it soon. The clock is winding down. They have the time, but at this point, the Vets look like they're going to walk away with the whole series if something doesn't happen, and happen soon.
The whole shebang, the whole enchilada. I mean, they came in with the 4-0 sweep, and that's what they intend to do. That is fine. I mean, what you got to do at this point? I mean, Stingrays, they do put a goal on. That's great, but they've got 1:10 seconds to find 3 more. The question is, can they do that? They've got a sub in for Nif. Apparently, Nif has been having just some serious connection problems all afternoon. Apparently, everyone's just been plagued by connection problems today. It be like that sometimes. We have a demolition onto our sub-in player on C at the midfield stripe. Comes back off the respawn, immediately challenges best selfish movement player, but Buddy RV makes a kind of risky clear right in front of their own net to the side. 45 seconds left on the clock. Stingray is desperately trying to find 2 goals.
C will tap it towards the net. DJ TJ leading down the way, has Buddy RV to his left, not able to make a play of it, however. Oh, bounces in front of the Vets net, no response. Could be an opportunity, but Boss is blocked the last minute. His movement player has to get it out. He does. He hits it to the corner. Follow-up from DJ TJ. He does whiff, passes it back to his teammate Buddy RV. The ultimate faith, and then back to DJ TJ, only for C to go to full length clear again. Just these big, booming clears seems to be what C kind of is an expert at this point. Now Buddy RV leading the way, has a teammate to his left and his right, just has to pick one angle.
You can hear that virtual crowd counting down. There is no time left on the clock. Ball is grounded. Stingrays, unfortunately, will lose to the Vets with a 4-0 scoreline. With that being said, Vets, it's great to see y'all back. I'm interested to see if y'all stick together as a team, if you're able to bring down the Barracudas in our coming Rumbles, or if you're broken up and we see you dispersed evenly amongst some other squads. With that being said, congratulations on your first return Rumble and walking away with the first crown. Now the question is, can you get the triple crown like the Barracudas currently have? I don't know. It might be a little difficult. If they're in the mix, it might go full best-of-7 series, not just a 4-0 sweep. But, of course, only future Rumbles will tell. With that being said, do you have any big takeaways from our matches today?
Consistency is key. It seems to be the way to play today. And the team with that had the best consistent play style, played the most around their teammates, and just played calm, smooth Rocket League, had the most success. And the Vets walk away with it today. That
and respectful Rocket League, I think, are two very important things. I always feel like when you underestimate your team, like I've seen some people come and try to pull out a breezy when their team's winning by 3, and I'm like, why? And I've seen literally it happen where someone tries to go for the breezy play, someone grabs it, pops up, and it gets sent in a beautiful breakaway to the other side, and immediately they're scored on, and then that one mental break is enough to tilt that player or tilt the team, and it's all downhill from there. So you really got to respect the team you're going against. Make every opportunity a learning opportunity. Don't just, steamroll because you can.
Yep.
You got to actually put in some effort for your victory. Did you win the game, or was the game sold to you is my question. And with that being said, we do still have one more match left today. But before we go to that match, I do believe we're going to take a quick break.
We're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day. We're going to save families from disaster and feed those left in the cold. We invite you to join us. The next greatest generation is now.
Protecting your customer journey from fraud is critical. According to industry analysts, Count's AI-driven platform is the leading solution. From account login to digital payments, Count is recognized for both its customer impact and technology excellence. Learn more at count.com.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Broadcast the Esports Tower Rumble in Rocket League. We're broadcasting it from the Boise State Esports Arena. You can see our beautiful production crew inside our production booth. The Vets are our Rumble champions. First of possibly many crowns for them going forward. I don't know. Not trying to place any bets. There's our gorgeous Overwatch team on stage as well. But before we wrap up tonight, we have an exciting show match between the Barracudas and the Eagles. The Barracudas definitely one of those teams you got to watch out for. I mean, every week when their name pops up, I get a little excited and my heart sinks a little bit for any team that has to go up against them. But perhaps in the coming weeks, they'll go up against the Vets and things will be a bit exciting or explosive, to quote you, before we went into our last match there. I'm still your host, Artie, joined on desk by Joe. Before we jump into this game, what are you hoping to see from the Barracudas?
Honestly, it's a show match. The players are aware it's a show match. I would be okay with seeing, you know, a few mistakes here and there, some aggressive mistakes. I'd like to see a lot of demos. Demos are really funny, especially when everyone's still trying, you know, and it's not just like people standing still and you're demoing. Yeah. Like when you're actually like chasing people down and making plays. It's kind of funny. I like that aggressive play style with the Barracudas. Might not be the most effective. Might not be the best for a tournament situation, focusing so much on that. But I don't know. I just think they're funny.
I mean, one of the things is that I don't know if you can hear what's going on behind me, but my brain sometimes can't focus when I hear people squeaking. And that's what just happened from our Overwatch players on stage. But as someone who's a coach, you know, we have those show matches, or we have a match that we already know we're going to lose. Like, we're halfway through it. We're just trying our best. And to keep the morale of my players up, I'll be like, what's something you want to try? I don't care how crazy it is. What do you want to try? And they're like, am I getting the pass go collect $200 moment right now, coach? And I'm like, yeah. And they'll be like, okay, I want to run Wrecking Ball. And I'll be like, we ballin'. So, you know, if it's a show match, if it's a match that you know it doesn't have a lot of things on the line, have fun with it. Do something a little crazy. Do the thing that when I say it's creative, typically as an insult, in this instance, it's me actually praising you for being creative.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember, especially in show matches like this, that at the end of the day, we are still playing a game. The game should be fun. You know, if you're not having fun, I don't really know. You shouldn't play. You should go do something else that's fun. But as long as we're having fun, we're enjoying it, then we'll be good.
I have two things to note here. I do believe, Plea, I've tried to find your Twitch channel. I've not found it. Adrift, I don't think I found your TikTok either. So you both might want to fix those and make sure they're correct.
The promotion is not quite working out for them, clearly.
No.
The review from the casting desk is not what they probably wanted. I have to see if that affects morale anywhere further on. We actually have a show match best of 7. Should be a long, exciting show match.
Okay, scratch that. Adrift, I have found you on TikTok. You actually added me, so I correct myself. But please, I've not found your Twitch, man. I've tried to follow you. I want to give my love to people that are content creators. I need you to post up a little bit more. You know, get a Twitter. At me on Twitter so I know what your actual Twitch handle is. Please and thank you.
Wilds. When is Rook getting back here? I actually can't tell. Okay, I can see from the banner. He's on the Eagles. And his car is like both colors, and it's not one of those decals where it's like the same colors on either side, so it took me a second to figure that out.
Don't do this to us. We're only college students. With that being said, we're still sitting at a no-goal scoreline 2 minutes in.
Yeah, pretty slow game, all things considered. Not pretty much the exact opposite of what I said I was hoping for.
I'm fine with it. My anxiety is chill. There are so many times that these players love to just give me heart palpitations and are like, hey, did you remember to take your anti-anxiety medication before you went to bed last night? I sure hope so, as I see too many almost own goals, too many close call goals when we're at like super close in a game. I mean, yes, in the last 30 seconds here, we're going to have these 0-0 scoreline, so it's going to be real close. My anxiety is going to get real high, but I have until the 30-second mark.
Yeah, we just passed the mid-game mark now. Held scoreless, and if you look at the accolades, like look at the Eagles. Well, there's one shot in the whole game, and Nano has it. There's 4
2, both Nano.
Oh, both Nano now. They just went got another one, but by contrast, there are 4 demos, and only 1 save.
I think they took our message of give us a show match, do something a little weird. And for once, Nano's like, okay, I'm going to be different. I'm not going to go for the demo play. I will go for the playmaker style. And everyone else is trying to play Nano.
Now we finally have 3 shots to 5 demos. It's slowly getting a little more aggressive here as the clock is winding down. The players realize, oh, we need to score. Otherwise,
someone has to win.
Someone has to win eventually, I think. unless we're going to play the longest best of 7 that we have ever seen.
The longest overtime in all of Rocket League history. Coming at you now from Esports Tower.
That would certainly be crazy.
I would cry.
I believe the longest regulated overtime is still about 20, I think it's 15 or 20 minutes.
I would cry. That's an entire Rocket League series in just an overtime. I would cry.
Yep, it was one of those fun best of 7s. I believe it was all the way back in Season 7 of the pro circuit. But
all right, guys, we're not the pros. Now let's find a goal here. We've got 1 minute and 2 seconds to do so. Adrift brings the ball to midfield stripe. It bounces down off the ceiling. Plea whiffs it on the attempt to return the possession. Instead, we're going to have Nano from the goal line, bring it up to midfield stripe. Immediately responded to by Wild. But Wild, again, pops it up a little bit too high. So we have Plea center it up for Adrift. But Adrift, it has a 50-50 from Nief sending the ball over to the side. Nano looking for a reset. I don't think the reset's going to happen. It's not, because we have a save coming out from Thrift. We now have 34 seconds on the clock, and now my anxiety is getting a little high. If you can't tell.
yeah, I mean, someone's gonna have to score eventually, and that's obviously nerve-wracking. TikTok or Drift. I almost default said TikTok.
You know, I've almost said Twitch and TikTok, so I might just go to that because they've decided to put that in there. It's not your guys' true fault, but just know that my ADHD brain sees TikTok and will just read TikTok.
Fair enough. Nano trying to find the back of the net in the last couple
Oh
seconds.
no, come on guys, come on. That's it,
Go
that's
to the
it.
dreaded overtime. Nope, Plea keeps it up. Pass it towards the wall.
With how
Still
equal
up.
these teams are, it could be a 5-minute long overtime.
It's still up.
Guys!
If they're keeping it up. Maybe they're just preventing the overtime altogether. Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
I mean, it'd be interesting to start like a stopwatch to see how long we've had like post 0 second mark the ball not hit the ground here for Rocket League. But
it goes negative.
yeah,
Yeah.
that would be cool. Something like that, because I want to track it. That was close, Adrift. Oh, that was close. Come on. I blame it on both of you guys having social media handles in front of your names that hit the crossbar and bounced directly down twice. It's a name diff. But that being said, come on. Oh my gosh.
Drift saved the first shot too. It was going in.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
Okay. There were more shots in that last 30 seconds than there were in the entirety of the regulated game.
They just like to toy with us.
That was absurd. That I can only imagine the stress, honestly, from Blue Side.
I mean, do these players understand how much anxiety you face as you get older, like when you go to college? Because I don't think they do.
They're gonna find out soon.
They're gonna. It's like playing in that moment, that 30 seconds, but extended for 30 days.
Oh, gosh.
That's how long your anxiety episodes last, and you guys just gave me a month worth in 30 seconds. I don't appreciate it. I'm here for the story aspect of it, but my goodness, please don't do that to me ever again. Truly, I was like, oh no, this overtime's gonna last like 5 or 6 minutes.
It's like that meme format. It's like an hour here is 5 years on Earth or something.
Yes.
Like that. Yeah.
I was scared. Y'all had me real scared, and you kept me scared even near the end because just how many ricochets do we have to go for? Nano, you brought back the watermelon car.
And the Eagles actually
Thank you.
find a goal here.
Thank you, because they're
Break the
trying to.
silence.
They're trying to prevent us from having to go to deal with anxiety-inducing overtime. Okay. Adrift just returning the favor.
Just kind of general chaos right now. Eagles are like, all right, we'll get our one goal.
The funny part now is I want to keep an eye a little bit on Nano because the players have said Nano's playstyle of being the Demolition Derby expert is hilarious and funny because Nano thinks they can get away with it, but when they switch the watermelon car, it makes it really easy to dodge the demos because there's a very obvious target coming after you.
That and it's really flat. It's really easy to just jump over.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of the shift actually. Why the Octane slowly creep back into being prominent as the dominant hitbox, just because it's higher off the ground. It's easier to go with that aggressive playstyle that's been meta for so long now. Now Nano with the big clear.
To everyone that sees it on Twitter about Psyonix posting about the Demolition Derby playstyle and everyone getting angry about it, it's intentional. You all are playing in the algorithm when you get angry about it. It's a working playstyle. No one cares.
You know, I'm sure they exist. But I'm just saying, I've never actually met someone who is in that much, like, person met someone who's in that much anguish over the demos in the game.
I haven't
It might just be
either.
bots.
That's true. It could just be bots. Or we just called some genuine human beings who do struggle with Demolition Derby playstyle bots. If you are someone who does and you are watching this, get help. There are fantastic coaches on Metafy. I suggest you look one up.
There are some seriously fantastic coaches for Rocket League at this point.
Selfish plug.
But at the end of the day, it looks like they finally diffused back away from that Demolition Derby kind of playstyle. Actually, we see a Drift is leading. I believe he was leading before on demos as well.
The thing with the Demolition Derby playstyle, though, is you set it as your playstyle, and then everyone gets to sit there and wonder, are you coming to demo me or not? And then you don't even have to do it anymore. And just the mere threat of your existence being there to delete someone else's for the 2.4 seconds that it is to respawn is enough to keep people away from you, and I love it.
Yeah, a good demo makes all the difference a lot of the time. It doesn't even necessarily have to be on the goalkeeper. It just has to create enough space for your team to make a play happen.
That is genuine controlled chaos, as being the Demolition Derby expert, and then just pulling back on the demos.
Definitely have to agree there. An opportunity for Wilds. He'll get it. The clear from Nano just isn't good enough. And the Eagles will find a 2-0 security lead here. They make it away.
Oh, wait. They credit to... Oh, barely. I think it kisses Thrift's tires. It does. So it's credited to Thrift.
Really?
Yeah. It just barely skidded underneath Thrift's tires and got it credited to Thrift.
Well, that is probably one of the most legendary goal steals that I've seen in a while, I'm going to be honest.
It was one that didn't even look like a goal steal. That's the funny part. I'm here for it, Thrift.
Whiff entirely.
Ooh. Wow. Okay. You just got called out.
Well, from Thrift, he wasn't trying to shoot it, so if it was a whiff, then it's like...
That's true.
Yeah,
I
mean,
think
it would be bad if I said he whiffed when he like was trying to shoot it. He was just happened to be there.
I think Thrift was actually trying to get out of the way to prevent an accidental ball rebounding off the back end of his car, but just got lucky enough to get the reset in time to just have it kiss the bottom side of his tires and go into the net. 1 minute, 40 seconds left on the clock. I can read. A Drift pops the ball up in the corner. It's going to be stolen away by Thrift. Looks like Plea tried to find a breakaway. A slight double commit, not punished from the Barracudas. Nano is going to go down to Wilds. Interesting that Nano is getting the Nano treatment, but it's being given to him. Case in point, that's 2 back-to-back demos, both on to Nano. Sorry, Fred.
I think actually, if Thrift scored that last goal, something's up with the overlay. Maybe it just displayed incorrectly, but Thrift actually doesn't have any goals to his name right now.
Weird.
Weird. Regardless, Nif leading the way is able to get past the fabled watermelon car and able to get past Plea. But it's not able to go the extra mile. Oh, and Thrift actually is able to take the shot from the sidewall at the midfield line. Just not quite a defender there in time, and they will have 3 goals to their name coming down to 50 seconds left in the game. I don't know if the Barracudas have it in them necessarily. They don't look very bad right now, but the Eagles are kind of all over them.
The watermelon on top of Nano's car definitely demonstrated how they might be feeling. I don't know if anyone got a close enough view of it, but it's a very panicked looking watermelon. It's not the end all be all or end of the world if the Barracudas do not win. You can see it there. It's a crying watermelon. Yep. It's not the end of the world if the Barracudas lose this game too. It's a best of 7.
Yes. Definitely a lot of Rocket League left to play. And like we said, we might end up in that situation where it's an Esports Tower best of 3.
I anticipate that happening just because I know these players quite well. Actually, I do know. I've met every single one of these players, I think, except for Nif. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if we went to the best of 3. It's the classic.
No, it is the classic, and they definitely are a fan of the classics. That's why it keeps happening. That's why it's classic. It's a little bit of... I've had similar things described to me as a self-licking ice cream cone before. You know, because it's like keeping itself going to some extent. You ever heard that phrase?
No.
No. Well, now you have.
I'm never going to use that phrase. I will never, ever, ever use that phrase.
Okay,
I need, like, where's that Men in Black, like, pen that they hold up and they're like, look right here?
I got this expo if you want.
Oh.
Hold on, I'll just, like... There, now to make the click sound.
Thanks, bestie.
All right, we'll move on. What were we talking about?
Yeah. Okay, so we're still in a best of 7. Barracuda's currently trailing by 2.
Yep.
They need to fix some things.
Definitely.
But it's not like it's a bad trailing by 2. They're very low.
Wait, the Barracudas trailing by 2. Didn't they win the first one?
No, they lost, didn't they?
Barracudas are in orange.
Oh, it's
yeah,
1-1.
It's 1-1.
Okay.
So
my
it's
brain
even.
just got erased. It is even, but these games are too close to call. I'm anticipating a best of 3. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I don't feel like either team necessarily has control of the play right now.
Ooh,
a
that
good
was
play right off the bat, but just not quite the right placement on the shot. So Nano was able to actually deflect it.
I want to come back to that. No team really has control over the play. While that is shots fired, what are you really implying by that?
Well, neither team is really dominating the pace of the game or side control right now. It's very back and forth. Even in the last game where the Eagles looked like they were kind of dominating, they weren't really. It was a lot of back and forth, a lot of opportunities for the Barracudas to find the back of the net. And see, opportunities like this are just kind of the exact idea of that. We have the Eagles leading early, almost able to find a goal right off the bat, but not having the accuracy for it. Then it just goes the entire extra length all the way to the other end. The Barracudas find a similar play, and now they will lead.
But you could see, like, in that replay that we had 2 defenders at midfield stripe. So if anything had gone wrong, I don't think they would have gotten back in time, because we had one of the Eagles players, or more of the Eagles players, actually in kind of cherry-picking midfield-ish zones. It could have been very bad, but instead now Barracudas are going to lead by 2. We've got 4 minutes, 22 seconds on the clock. Very different than what we saw earlier. I'm fine with a secured victory early on. The question is, can you maintain it? Because this early in a game, going up by 2, doesn't mean as much as being in the lead by 2 when we're crossing, you know, that 2-minute, 30-second mark.
It definitely feels good, but you have to kind of make sure you're playing solid Rocket League for the rest of the game still. I mean, that's true of almost every game state, but at the end of the day, you'd rather have a 2-0 lead with a minute left on the clock than 4 minutes. But we'll have to see if it makes a difference. The Eagles have had a lot of pressure this game. They're definitely not out of, or they are in a position where they could be out of the woods anytime they wanted. But I doubt the Barracudas are going to give it to them that easily unless they just whiff at the midfield line. And then Wilds heads it back to Nano. And then we're battling the midfield line again. And the Drift is able to clear it to the corner.
Just so you know, that play-by-play had a little bit of shade in it. Now we've got Nano with the 50-50. It's going to be whiffed on. We do have Nif make a save. Doesn't clear it, though. It just goes to the side and in possession of the Barracudas nonetheless. Crossing midfield stripe, Wilds is going to cut into the passing lane, pops the ball up in the corner, defensive third for the Barracudas. It tries to be bounced down onto the ground. Thrift from midfield stripe looks to play it off the back wall, but it's stolen by a Drift. And to quote the in-game announcer, saved by the keeper.
Drift off the sidewalk gives it to Wilds, a clear downfield. Nano's able to respond first, however. Hits it all the way. It actually does make contact with the ceiling, so it'll go the full length behind the backboard. The Drift is able to keep it onside a little longer. Maybe a pass. Plea is up, but beat by Wilds. Nano has to respond. Maybe taps it back to himself. An opportunity, but no, he just doesn't have the angle to hang out in front of the Eagles. Man, a little bit longer than they're comfortable with. Now they're playing a little bit slow.
A Drift at midfield, loses the ball to Thrift. Thrift takes a shot. It's too wide. Nano has, I think, heard our discussion of their watermelon car not being the play to be a demolition expert, and instead is just going to put on that, I believe it's a sombrero, and I think their car might still be the same, though. But it's a little more, less loud. Nano makes another save on Nif shot on the goal. No, it's a different car, too. Literally trying to Olay the demos.
Yeah,
hence the sombrero.
Yeah, it would appear that's the case to some extent here. No contact in front of the net from either team. Definitely could have been either a clear or a shot, but Nano has the shot. He just puts it a little too high, and the shot follow-up from the Barracudas is not good either. Drift can pass the midfield line. No contact from the defense on the Barracuda side, meaning we're playing a little bit of defense now. The Drift is able to hit it out, but not before Thrift is able to just put it right back on target. The Barracudas haven't really struggling to get out of their end at the moment.
I mean, it's okay to struggle, but it's not okay to give up a goal. They are kind of getting corralled into that net area, which is not something you want to see regularly. Because, I mean, you can only make so many saves in a short amount of time when everyone's all bunched up. With that being said, it does not look like this ball is going to leave their zone anytime soon. Barely stayed by a Drift off Wilds' shot. Joe is currently shrugging and throwing his hands up like, what is going on? We have Flea bring the ball across midfield stripe, taken away almost immediately by the Eagles.
Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. The pass off the sidewall, and then the Eagles just completely overshoot it, not finding the back of the net there. Just chaos in front of the Barracudas net. The tap away, Wilds puts it too high, and then they clear out after double commit from the Barracudas. Thrift now can reset the play. It'll roll down in front of the net. Wilds has the 50-50. It will not go through. Flea pushing towards the wall now. Now finally the Barracudas able to get past the midfield line. Could be looking for a passing play here, and they are able to get it. After all that pressure on the Barracudas side, they will come away with their third goal in a hat trick off the pass. A drift, able to push it through, barely beating the defense.
3
They did a high
minutes.
five.
Yeah, they did. It was cute. Virtual high fives. 38 seconds, 3 goals. That's a goal, we'll say roughly at this point now every 12 seconds. That's pretty impossible if you're an Eagles fan. Barracuda's looking to secure that second game victory, but still, oof. Thrift on a Nano. Nano, gotta lay those demos a little harder. Great save from Flea. But yeah, at this point, I think it's safe to say Barracuda's Game 2 victory. It's a GG. That was looking like an attempt to be flashy. I'm gonna let you take over at what you just saw.
We overcomplicated that play.
It looked like it, because I saw something that, I don't know the name of it, but it looks like a little bit.
It's just your standard backboard read, but they get it back. They get it back. The Eagles make the long shot from the midfield line. Now they've only got 2 goals they need in 12 seconds. I honestly, that seems realistic, but this kickoff has to go fast.
It has to be perfect, and it's already going the wrong way and at the wrong pace. So I think this is Barracuda's game, which is fine. It's a best of 7. That is the love-hate relationship you gotta have with these, which is, you know, if you're looking for a fast series, you're not gonna get it. But if if things aren't going in your favor immediately, you got time to make up for it. When you get, oh, I love this overlay so much, by the way. Pretty equal, 44, 48, 48 as far as the Barracudas for shots, boost, and side control. So it does mean that it was favoring the Eagles, but I think NIF, they had 0 accolades. I didn't see a whole lot of midfield possession either from NIF, so I think possibly NIF just trying to change things up a little bit could be the missing factor in going into this next game and bring us, you know, tied to a side and bring us down to our Esports Tower best of 3.
Yeah.
So NIF just kind of being a little bit more involved, I think, is what we're missing here. What do you think?
I don't know. It's hard to tell. I feel like the quality of shots from the Eagles is a little bit lacking. The fact that they can actually be winning the shots game but still lose the game and give up 3 goals kind of screams to me that there's probably an issue with getting maybe a little bit more creative or just putting some more quality shots towards the back of the net. I think it was this game, actually, where we saw they had the opportunity really early on off a passing play, a great passing play, to find the back of the net, but they just shot it right towards the defender. They could have picked the other corner, and it would have gone in. So I just think it's going to come down to a little bit more discipline on the offensive line. We'll have to see if they agree with me or if NIF ends up being the kind of end-all, be-all of the Eagles' offensive line.
We'll have to see. And currently we are 15 seconds roughly, give or take. I'm talking, so time does tick down. 20 seconds into this first game, no goal scored. I'm not dissatisfied with that, but I'm specifically looking at NIF now. I want to see this ball cam on NIF a few more times. I understand Wilds and Thrift are a dynamic duo, but NIF, it doesn't mean that you have to be the sleeper. Yes, that's what I'm looking for, NIF. Just do that again, possibly just a little bit further in so the goal's into the net and doesn't hit the crossbar, but, you know, we have to have all 3 members take a touch to get the ball in. Eagles are leading by 1, 40 seconds in. A little bit of a risky play. We've seen this work out before for some teams. I think NIF had rotated back to the midfield stripe, but no, NIF was not at midfield. They were right at the top of the goal box. So all 3 members really close to that goal. Easy breakaway opportunity. Is the juice worth the squeeze is the question there for the Eagles. In that instance, yes. But going forward, will it be?
Yeah, they had confidence in the play, looking ahead, reading the opportunity, confidence in their teammates. It was a double commit from the Barracudas early on as NIF started to pull up. So, oh, and it looks like we are going to take a break, but I'll finish that thought just for now. As the
we're back in.
Okay.
Thank you, production.
Yep, we're back. Anything developed?
No. Production just gave me an apology because we were having some technical difficulties. Y'all don't need to apologize. Technology's a pain in the butt.
Yeah. Everyone knows that we have a pretty consistent, you know, maybe once every other week where at least one player here gets disconnected. Technology is definitely an enemy, to say the least.
We had a player get disconnected in our match earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it wasn't even from here. It's from home. It happens. It's all good. But Thrift just kind of did what Thrift did earlier, and that's another goal for Thrift. But Nif did take a shot, and I want to see more shots from Nif, not just 4 from a drift, an assist from Wilds, and a save from Wilds. I mean, yes, you don't have to have the world's greatest defense if you have an offense that never lets the ball cross midfield stripe. But I want more involvement from the other players in this offense.
Thrift, leading the way down the field, has an opportunity, gets it to Wilds, and they'll just outpace the Barracudas, leading 3-1, just kind of doing the exact same thing the Barracudas did to them in the last game. But
okay, Wilds gave me what I asked for, got involved, didn't just let Thrift get all the goals. Now can Nif get a goal?
We'll have to see. Nif kind of trying, it feels like he's very focused on that midfield line right now, which isn't necessarily incorrect, especially if they can get their offense pumping without him. It's not necessarily a requirement, but it would be nice to see him get a little more involved. That way they keep that creative element going and make Barracudas guess a lot more as to what play is about to be thrown at them.
Yeah, you always got to keep them on their toes. So they're always chronically expecting the unexpected, but when you leave the goal wide open for Thrift, you should just expect that there's going to be a goal scored, because you hand it to him on a silver platter. Like, look at this, no one's home.
No one's home.
Nobody.
And he takes the shot towards the far corner. Beautifully done. Exactly what I was kind of suspecting might turn them around is this creativity and making sure that you're just putting the shot in the most effective spot on the goal, not just generally at the goal. Now
And,
another shot.
ooh,
Yeah. That
Wild!
creativity, not just forcing the kind of grindy fights in the corner. Instead, just taking the aggressive shot here, recognizing Nano is up, finds back the net.
All right, so we got 3 minutes, 12 seconds. There's a 4-goal differential right now. It's not impossible to surmount, but theoretically speaking, if Barracudas do not close this gap up, guess what?
Esports Tower.
Best of 3!
We're right back where we started. It doesn't matter how many. I'm confident that if we gave these players something like a best of 9, they would still find their way back to the Esports Tower best of 3.
Oh yeah, no way they wouldn't.
That's something to
Wild.
be said of how these teams are matched, to say the least. Nif with the shot, he'll get his goal.
Yes, that's what I wanted. Thank you, Nif. I know they can't hear me, but I appreciate the fact that Nif got more involved in this one.
I feel like out of the 6 goals that the Eagles have had, I think 3 now have been done from the midfield line-ish.
It's because, like, it's not a bad thing, but it's definitely the chink in the armor coming out from the Barracudas. It's this, we've got the clear, secure, get in position, get ready to do the assault, you know, to attack the goal. But I think your positioning needs to be relative to that ball rather than relative to the play.
Yeah, and I think it's really important to look ahead and say, hey, can I recognize easily when an Eagle player is going to go after this ball? Are we looking at a 50-50, or is it going to be a flick? Is it going to be kind of an opportunity for them to get a longer shot, maybe towards the net? Just looking ahead, making sure you're using your pan camera to just get the most information as possible before you make the guessing game of, should I move up now?
Yeah, and if you get motion sickness from using the pan camera, take some Dramamine. We've got Nif, pinch the ball to the side. It's going to go off the back wall from, I believe that was Plea. I just saw the T in front of the name. That gives me 2 options. Ball's going to get cleared to the midfield stripe where Plea is waiting. Looks like they intended on centering it up for a teammate, but saved by Thrift instead as the rotations had come out. Nano pops the ball up to the corner. Drops down to Thrift, tries to get it past Plea. Awkward whiff from both of them as we have a demo come out on Nif, a drift, Thrift in a 50-50. Ball in front of Barracuda's goal. Excuse me, gets cleared to the side by Nano.
50-50 in the corner, will spill all the way out and roll the entire way down the field. Thrift. Oh, he has a shot here. Wilds just has to put it down. He does. He gets the cherry pick. Now we have two hat tricks to the Eagles in this game. They're currently in a Brazil position against the Barracudas. This is not a position that I'm really feeling like we've seen a lot, that the Barracudas have been back this far into a corner. I know that they've taken some series to some longer numbers, but I've never really seen this kind of a demolition against the Barracudas.
Time to start laying them demos a little bit more. Nano will have to see if they're capable of doing so. Thrift at the midfield stripe, pops that ball up. Ends up going to Nano as no one was ready to receive it. Holy crud, Wilds. I didn't realize your teammate was there. You owe them a big thank you for making that save. Nicely done, Nif.
Nif is able to push downfield now. Gets past 2. Has to have a teammate follow up. Klee will cut in instead. Will not be allowing that play anytime soon. Nano with the clear downfield. Follow up. Not quite make contact, so Wild has to take it all the way across the midfield line. Nano is up to be in the way. He does get in the way, but it'll just drop down the Klee. Battle in front of the Barracuda's net. Eagles trying to find a way in to start making the Barracudas guess around again. Nif is actually able to flick past 2 defenders, and the third defender gets actually outplayed by his own teammate, but still the Barracudas find a scrappy way out of their end. They're able to cross midfield line. This could be a disastrous situation. The shot is there.
I mean, disastrous when it's a 7-1 lead, or disastrous in favor of wanting the Brazil.
Disastrous in favor of just like the play isolated.
Valid. Okay, that's valid. I'm the more big picture caster here, obviously, as I'm like, really? Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. And they used less boost too. Look at that. They had more side control. They had more shots. Almost like 3/4 of the entire shots in the game were to their name, and they still had the best boost efficiency out of both teams. That was
numbers, Mason. What do they mean? The math doesn't check out.
I mean,
it doesn't.
I guess they were efficient.
Yeah, they were super efficient. It's just you don't typically see that.
Yeah. I think honestly part of that boost efficiency thing might come from, I think 4 of their goals at the end of that were actually midfield line shots.
Yeah, so they didn't have to use much.
They're just not working as hard. They're just making sure that they're punishing.
They have to work as hard.
Well, right. It's like it feels like you have to work really hard for a goal when you like have to go back and forth in front of the net.
Yes,
you're
that's
passing
valid.
and you're grinding, trying to get past that last man. But when you just punish that defensive mistake at the midfield line, it just feels a little bit easier, like you had to work up a little bit less to it. Maybe that's part of the reason that they didn't have to use as much boost.
Well, now we might as well just delete the scoreline that we have thus far as for the series, because we are at a best of 3. We can even like just swap out the card and put in a best of 3 card. I mean, at the end of the day, we should just leave it blank. We'll just leave it at a best of 3 when we have a best of 7 series and just let the games play out until we hit the best of 3. I know we technically can't do that, but it's what happens every time. Truly.
I don't know. I think it'd be funny to kind of just put like best of and then like 3 question marks or just like best of whatever.
Yeah, truly.
Who knows?
Or like a shocked emoji when it actually is like a full best of 7. Well, when it isn't a best of 7.
Yeah, exactly. Or just like a sticker like drawn on kind of look, just like over the 7, just says 3 down.
Yes, that would be great.
We'll have to see if the Barracudas are able to bounce back.
Because, I mean, look at this. We're a minute in, no one's found a goal. This is drastically different than what we saw earlier.
I mean, not drastically different than what we saw in the first game.
No, but like that kind of brings us back to the start. We've reset. We're at a best of 3 now. So, of course, the tempo is going to be a bit different, a little bit more relaxed from these 2 teams.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of feels like both teams are starting to feel the weight of the position they're in, because yeah, they are playing a best of 7, but they're in the best of 3 now. I mean, every game matters so much more. It matters like 33% more. I don't know the exact math, but a lot more, right?
I'm glad I'm not the only one on desk who struggles with math. But I can't count. You're doing division in your head.
Fair enough. Looks like
might have some connection issues with the drift. They left, rejoined, we Gucci.
Unless, I don't think that's the same drift. What happens usually is if you connect like 2 players through the PC, it doesn't let you like create another account, because how would it even do that? So it just creates like a copy of you and like puts
a friend of a drift.
Yeah.
A drift 53-2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The drift's mini-me.
Yes, they're little brother.
Yeah. Barracudas are able to keep pressure, but they're still lagging behind against the Eagles. I have to wonder kind of if the Barracudas are planning on making any changes to their playstyle or just kind of sticking to what they know best. I mean, it's carried them as far as it has in the past, but clearly something's in the way.
I mean, we're at the 3-minute mark, and Barracudas are only trailing by 1. I don't know if you need to make adjustments just yet. I think it's not so much you need to make adjustments, it's you need to make less mistakes.
Yeah, I think definitely tightening up that midfield line is going to make a big difference for them, working together a little bit more and playing a little safer, waiting for the Eagles to kind of go for those big plays, but then stop them in their tracks and bait out defenders is the least you can do. But we'll have to see if that ends up being their go-to. So far, I would argue the Barracuda's defense has held up pretty well, at least by comparison to last game, but they still need one goal in order to come out on top here.
They've got 2 minutes, 15 seconds to do it. No one really has that nail in the coffin scoreline just yet. 1 goal lead, easily surmountable, even in the last couple of seconds. I mean, I would love to, you know, eventually one day here with Esports Tower have a 3-1 score line that turns to a 3-3 score line within, you know, the last 30 seconds and say the iconic line, but I have yet to do so. I doubt the Eagles are going to find 2 more goals here, but Barracuda's only needing 1. I have faith.
Faith is all the Barracudas need at this point. There's plenty of time left on the clock. A pass off the back wall. Nano goes to the bump. This could be good. No, it's just a little wide. The Barracuda is not quite able to finish the play. Nano goes for another shot. Can't find the back of the net. Now, just playing it slow in front of the net, and they're just barely able to slide it over. The dominance that is being wielded by NIF today, it's got to be just like a couple pixels.
Oh, that's the curse of the flat car. It makes you a little vertically challenged.
While it comes at its advantages in those fast-paced moments where you just need to be in the way, it can sometimes be more difficult.
But we're tied 1 aside now, 90 seconds. I'm here for it. And
I'm here for it too, and just the excitement winding down now. I would actually be down to see an overtime at this point.
I would be too, but don't have it be an overtime where we have like, I'm not even kidding, what was like 5 shots in front of the goal within the first 15 seconds. That's a little too much anxiety.
That almost brought me out of my chair. That was insanity, to say the least. Riff with the shot down. Please be able to hit it out. The sigh of relief after.
It was a sigh of relief, but it was a sigh of sadness because like that was a great dunk from Thrift, but like of course it's gonna get saved. It's those moments where like, oh, no, I have no bias, so I'm just here looking for the cool plays. And when I see one start, but then it gets saved, I'm like, oh man. But then it's like, oh, okay, they saved it. That's cool.
Definitely have to agree there. Plea is up. 50-50. Will spill out in front of the net. A shot. Oh, he gets the double tap. Adrift recovers and finds back the net. The Barracudas lead. Less than a minute left on the clock. I want to see the angle here. He gets it. Oh, and the follow. He gets the flip. He saved his flip. And
that was
excellent
beautiful
adaptation to find the back of the net there. The Barracudas wielding some creativity to pull ahead.
37 seconds, though. Doable for the Eagles. They can find a goal for themselves. Let's see if they can. Right now, Barracuda's off kickoff 1 possession, but they're rotating back. It's going to be Nano at the midfield looking for that cherry pick going back into the defensive third. Ball goes off the backboard. Looks like we had a whiff and a double demo. Thrift and Nif find Twitch. I almost said Twitch. Find Plea and Nano. But the ball goes to the midfield stripe nonetheless. So not really capitalizing off those demolitions, are we?
Not quite yet. Please able to stay in control of the play a little longer. Nano just has to stall, pushes it towards the ball. Doesn't even have to find the back of the net, just has to find a way to burn some time off the clock here. They're able to do it. The Barracudas in the last few minutes of that game are able to come out on top. Look at the shot
I think they hurt us.
Now.
I think like Coach Katz or someone heard us say something about our stats and was like, okay, you guys got to flip it now. We can't let that happen again. Just that was unacceptable. So the Barracudas are like, we're going to win heavy-handedly and prove it even with the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, it
wasn't that heavy-handed.
Yeah, because it was a 1-goal game, right?
Yeah.
And it was like the last goal was kind of like tucked in, like as a, you know, like a cherry on top right at the end
extra.
there. Yeah. But honestly, with the way the series has been going, I would be willing to put Rocket League credits on the table right now that the Eagles are going to win the next one. The flip-flop that we've seen this series.
Okay, answer me this. Are Rocket League credits worth of physical currency?
Well, you can buy them with money.
With stuff in-game. Because there's, like, rare items in-game. Because I'm pretty sure I have some friends that have, like, opened stuff in-game. And they're like, oh, my God, I got something extremely rare. So I guess, yes, you're putting some Rocket League credits.
Yeah, you can trade them and stuff.
I'm going to put some Overwatch competitive points on the table on this one.
I'll raise you 1 coat hanger.
All right.
We'll have to see if the Barracudas are able to close it out. They're in that threatening position now. So the Eagles, unlike before when they were kind of flipping back and forth, the Eagles now have a decent amount of pressure on them. They can't lose any more games. Otherwise, the Barracudas walk away with the show match. But, you know, like I said, it is a show match. So if they walk away with the show match, is it really the end of the world?
No, it's not. It's not horrible. So we have some Overwatch competitive points. You might be able to get a gold gun. We have some Rocket League currency and a coat hanger on the table right now. So Eagles, we don't want to lose our theoretical money and a piece of plastic, possibly wood, or metal, to the universe. Please win this game so we bring us to the final game in a best of 7 series. You'd be the first one to do it tonight. We'd be appreciative.
Probably be the first players to win a coat hanger off of Rocket League as well.
Yeah. Or win currency for 2 games.
The riff off the wall now. Nano with the response. Almost gets the dunk off. If not able to make contact, so the shot will be on target, blocked by 2 defenders from Eagles. Waiting it out. The midfield line. A bump will give them a little bit of space, but not quite able to do anything with it yet. Plays kind of getting diffused in the corner.
Ball goes back into the opposite corner because, you know, every Rocket League player just absolutely adores shooting the ball into the side of the field, not into the net. Ball crossing midfield strike back into the opposite corner, the favorited corner of these players. Ball dunked down into the net by Adrift, so that's going to be a goal for the Barracudas.
Look at this pass from Nano. The double tap and gets the negative angle read. Just skips it towards the net. That is such a hard read of that. I can't even fault the Eagles for not quite making contact with that one, but wow, what a play from Nano. The setup was immaculate. Now Nif has to lead away out of his end. Oh, a demo onto the third man. This could be a problem, but nope, they find a way out. Nano hitting it towards the sidewall. Maybe looking for another similar play. Wild is going to shut it down early. Thrift playing it mid. Wild helping him out. Oh, one Barracuda's member is all it takes to keep it on their side. Nano can break away now and look for an opportunity, but the defenders from the Eagles are just keeping the play diffused a little longer.
Flea goes for the facepalm is warranted.
I don't think that was in, and even if it was, you had more time than that. Yeah.
Wilds is going to bring it back. Don't worry. Wilds is going to get a goal for himself after that mistake. I have...
Here it is.
I have
Ordinance.
trust.
Oh, he doesn't quite have the angle. Thrift takes the shot.
Come on.
It's off.
And here's Wilds. Here's Wilds. Redemption.
Okay,
not
looking
enough
for the pass.
tempo. All right, come on, Wilds. Come on.
Here's the shot.
Come on, Wilds.
Wide.
Come on.
Drift.
Come on, man.
Drift is up. He's got to set it up for Wilds. It drops down, but Lee is in the way.
In case you're just joining us, Wilds accidentally sold a goal to the Barracudas, and we're trying to encourage Thrift to, well, encourage Wilds to score a goal back to make up for the accidental own goal.
Drift's going to drop down to
there
Wilds.
It is.
There it is.
Yes, okay.
All right. High fives all around to Wilds.
Yep.
I don't remember if that helps my deal or not, because I've totally forgotten at this point, but good job, Wilds.
We were betting on the Eagles winning this game to send us into a Game 7.
Right. That does.
So if we're wrong, I think technically we have to give our theoretical credits and our coat hanger to the Barracudas.
I don't know about that. How do I ship a coat hanger?
How do I ship Overwatch competitive points?
Oh, can you not trade?
No, there's no trading in Overwatch.
Gift card.
There we go. Like, buy yourself some comp points, even though you have to play a lot of comp games to get those. Like, it's a disgusting amount. Like, you have to play a lot of games in a single season. And then your rank determines how many you can get, too. It's gross.
That is gross.
All right, Wilds, can you score another goal? That's my question. Can you equalize us? Make up for the 1 goal you sold by scoring 1. Now truly overcome that brain fog. I'm going to be blunt. It was a brain fart moment. And get the equalizer. Can you do it? Typically, I've seen you come back from accidental own goals and score 2 like back-to-back, but it's been a hot minute, and it took us a while to find that first one. Can we find the second?
Drift is just trying to find a way past the midfield line and can't do it. Oh, a drift will actually be... Oh, what was that pinch? That was borderline unreadable. A million miles an hour, they'll cross the midfield line. Flea is now looking for the solo play or a pass to Nano. Nano's up. He looks for the pass, but the flip reset will be stopped at the last moment by Eagles defense. Wild's looking to pass over to Thrift. Thrift with the long clear. It's towards the net. No contact from the Barracudas. It'll go the full length. Wild isn't the one to find the back of the net,
assist.
but he is the setup man here. Look, the shot from Thrift kind of just... Wow. The Barracudas having 100% faith in their teammate, and he just barely didn't make contact. The Eagles are back in it to force a Game 7 here.
2-2, 56 seconds left on the clock. There's time to find 1 goal. Technically, there's time to find 2. So each team could score 1 apiece, or we could just have no one score a goal, which I'm fine with to go into overtime because 1 minute is kind of rough. But it looks like I'm going to be told to shut up by Adrift, but Wild is going to tell Adrift to pipe down for a little bit. Sending the ball to the midfield stripe, volleyed right back. Nano going to elevate. It's going to barely glide across that ceiling. Doesn't take any directional change, but does lose some of its speed. Thrift shot, a drift shot is going to be saved by Thrift. Ball not out of the defensive third of Eagle territory just yet. 20 seconds left on the clock, tied to his side. Will someone find a goal, or are we going into overtime?
Nano rolls it up, well, no contact. This could be scary. Nif is up. He has to clear to the corner. Lee is there to respond first. He taps it up mid. Nano's up fast. He takes the shot. It's low. Thrift will get the clear out. Will cross the midfield line. Oh, we'll knock it all the way back to the other side. No contact from Nano. They're just going to let it die. No, Nif keeps it up, actually.
What?
It'll drop down anyway. We'll go to overtime. Eagles are going to have to fight for their lives in a golden goal situation.
All right, Eagles, come on. You got this. Find us this golden goal. Find it quickly. We're only being a little biased from the caster desk because we bet theoretical things that don't really exist on it.
Coat hangers don't exist?
Okay, we bet a coat hanger.
You just shocked me. My whole world blown to pieces.
We bet a coat hanger on this. So, Eagles, we need you to find this golden goal.
Oh, Nano off the sidewall with help of Wild. Lee has to tap up. They can't really do anything with it, though. Adrift takes the shot from the midfield line. It just won't work out, though. Nif is in the way. Nano with the tap down, has the double tap. Does not quite have the angle. Plee puts it high again. Could be a follow-up.
There was a triple commit on the defense there from the Eagles, and it's getting my blood pressure's going a little bit too high right now.
You can tell the panic is setting in for them a little bit too. The launch all the way downfield needs to be a block. There is a block by Thrift. It is pushed into the corner. Adrift has the response now. Has a little bit of space. Gets past one. Passes it to his teammate. It'll just spin out into the corner again. Nano is up. Doesn't get the read past Wild, who gets past 1 and now 2. Lee has to slow play it. He just throws away possession against the wall. But he does end up winning the 50-50 over to the Nano. Follows into the far corner. Wild almost passes it to the Barracudas, but they're able to get past the midfield line.
So far, Nif is sitting at 1 save, but I was about to say, Nif, I need you to get more involved a little bit, but Thrift and Wild's the dynamic duo. The give, the go, minute and 18 seconds into overtime. Eagles find the golden goal, and we are going to the final game of the best-of-7 series, and it's anybody wins, and we both our theoretical currencies and our coat hanger are safe.
I get to hold on to my imaginary coat hanger a little longer. Look at the pressure and the total shots. 30% is what the shots were on the side of the Eagles, and they still came out on top. That is like peak efficiency by comparison.
It's accuracy versus precision.
Yep, that's the argument that you have to make. I feel like we've had to make that kind of comparison multiple games now in the series. It feels like that's kind of the big thing. It doesn't really matter because the pressure is kind of remaining the same regardless, but the shots are remaining the big thing that has to be not locked down by both teams, is making sure that those shots are meaningful and not just kind of Hail Marys. I hope this goes in every time that I have the ball, you know?
I love every time you say that because it's just reiterating what I've said for so long. Whatever you're doing, do it with a purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't just do it absent-mindedly.
You have to have intent because these Esports Tower teams, they've been trained for a while. They've played a lot of solo queue, I imagine. They know what it's like to play against these teams that aren't thinking about what they're doing, and they know how to punish it. You have to make the adaptation. You have to make it now. Otherwise, you're not going to walk away with anything.
All right.
Against the Esports Tower team.
This is it. This is the last 5 minutes. Give or take a minute, because we could have overtime. I'm being graceless saying give or take a minute, because it could be well over a minute. Apologies to anyone that only thinks we have a minute at overtime. I want no holds barred.
Honestly, I would be really stressed out if we made it to the 1 minute line and no one has scored. So let's get a couple just to soften up the net.
Joe's anxiety is at its limits for the day.
Oh, this is a really long clear. It almost goes the full length. The shot from
the follow-up, the tertiary?
Oh, no, get it. The tertiary will find the back of the net. Adrift. Showing off his tick-tock and showing off how to finish off a shot here. Nif just not quite in a position to be able to get in the way. It was just too hard to read off the backboard twice. It's just kind of an awkward situation.
I mean, it did take all 3 members, though. This is another situation of, like, instead of the Eagles, me questioning this, it's me questioning the Barracudas. Was the juice worth the squeeze? should it take all 3 of you to commit on a goal scoring opportunity every time to make sure the goal is secured? The answer is typically no, because it makes breakaway opportunities very viable for the defending team. The defending team can't find the missing, like that hole in the armor to get the breakaway. It's a different story, but if you show all your cards all the time and demonstrate it takes all 3 people to find the back of the net, that can be your undoing.
Pass out mid, Adrift will pass it over to Nano, plays it off the corner wall, has Wilds up with him. The 50-50 in favor of Wilds, has the ability to get it out mid. The shot, and it will be in 1-1. That complicated, what's the phrase you use?
It's complicated 0-0.
That's right, it's complicated 0-0. I will never do it as well as Artie. And we are at 3 minutes and about 30 left on the clock, so we're about a minute and a half through. And 2 goals on the pitch.
Off kickoff, no one really wins it. Plee takes an awkward little tiny loop, ends up having Wilds take the shot. Saved by Adrift.
Ooh.
Nif, though, comes in, takes a shot, finds the shot with the assist from Wilds.
Eagles leading.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Nif has kind of been a little bit of a sleeper. I think that's Nif's maybe 2nd or 3rd goal of this entire series.
Yeah, I definitely would say sleeper. I don't think he's been lacking necessarily.
No, the sleeper role is intentional.
Yeah.
Like, it's the, I'm not here to be the playmaker every time, but I can when it's needed, and you're not going to expect it. The sleeper title is being given with the utmost respect. Nif and Nif's family, if anyone's listening, it's not an insult, I promise.
No, definitely not. And I think it's easy to get caught up in the stats of, oh, this player scoring the most goals, they must clearly be carrying, when in reality, it takes a team, it takes a village to put together those plays a lot of the time.
Most definitely. There's 3 people on that field, and all 3 have something to accomplish and something to do. They have a job, and right now Thrift's job is to get this ball past Plee, and Plee's job is to dunk it down. If ball pops up, loses some momentum. Adrift plays it around 1, can't play it around the other because they go back to the respawn screen. Wilds and Thrift looking to play it around Nano. Gets flicked up over 1. Adrift comes in for the pinch. It looks like the ball just got sent to the side to allow for, I think, Wilds to try and get a touch on it. Ball at defense 3rd Barracuda territory. Reset. Already come out from the Eagles. Playing smart. Getting ready to just go for these takeaways from the midfield stripe. Tries to pop it out. Double commit from the defenders. Plee and someone else. Don't know who. Wasn't capitalized on fast enough by the Eagles, though.
Pushing past the midfield line, the Barracudas want to find another aggressive play. Oh, they might get beat at the midfield line now. Nano is able to keep it out. Maybe has the follow-up against the wall. He does. The pinch, not towards the net. It's a little wide. Thrift will clear it out. They have to make an adaptation here pretty soon. The clock is winding down with less than half of a game left. Wilds with a shot, blocked by 2 Barracudas working together a little bit on that one. They'll push towards the back of the net on the big Eagles end.
In case it isn't obvious, Joe is getting ever so close to that can we not have the 0-0 score line in the last minute moment. And I am here for it. Like, I'm looking at my fake watch, like, okay, 45 more seconds. Can we maintain the tied to a side score line? I'm thinking we can. Nano has possession, but is going to get stolen at the midfield stripe. We're seeing a lot of this midfield pressure, and I'm enjoying it. It's just, unfortunately, slightly torturous for Joe.
Clock's winding down, still plenty of time. It feels like, you know, like a little less stressful because there have been goals scored. It doesn't feel like there's all this tension building up for the first goal, you know, and all this battling back and forth.
Do I need to just lay it thicker on that it's the 0-0 score line?
You trying to make it worse?
Oh my god! Oh my gosh!
Okay, they do it. They do it.
Minute 9 seconds. All right, there you go. Your wish was granted. Unless the Eagles score 1 off kickoff, your wish was granted.
Oh, Wilds. I can't even fault. That's such a hard angle to see with ball cam on. It comes straight down on top of you. Like, where is it actually? It's somewhere up here.
I can't.
Oh, a long
No
clear.
way, Wilds.
Blocked by Nano.
Okay. All right.
I was going to say, there's no way, right?
No, we're under the 60-second mark now. We could see the equalizer. I'm fine with that, but we're...
Nief is able to get past 1. It's not able to find the back of the net. It's just a little wide. 50-50 does not end up going that way. We're out. Barracudas just need to hold on for less than a minute longer.
That was an interesting touch from Nano. This is a moment I wish I had my own replay button up here so I could click it. 36 seconds, though. Looks like this is favoring the Barracudas. They don't have that nail in the coffin of the 2-goal lead, though. So there is still that buzzer beater, no time left on the clock, or barely any time left on the clock opportunity here for the Eagles. And I think they're fully aware of it. This ball is spending a lot of time in the Barracuda territory. And we have Wilds take out Nano, who's in that cherry-picking position for this clear. They have to battle it around one of the Barracudas and get this ball to the midfield stripe. We're at the 10-second mark. They need to get this ball in the air, and they need to keep it in the air. And instead, it's going to be Plee, who actually finally picks up the hammer, drives that nail down into the coffin, and says, this is it. This is your sweet good night. 5 seconds on the clock. Barracuda's leading by 2. I do believe this show match is concluded, as we might have a beautiful off-kickoff goal or a no time on the clock goal. But nonetheless, the Barracudas will walk away with this victory.
Yeah, I think Plee did a really good job there of capitalizing on these Game 7 nerves and just went for the fake, caught them just kind of playing a little bit the faster game and walked away with that security goal. With that, the Barracudas will win in Game 7 after a very well thought out series.
I'm here for it. I enjoyed it. I love seeing a full best of 7. Granted, of course, it means that we do go to a best of 3. Yeah. But with that being said, if you want an opportunity to, participate in one of these best of 7 series and be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers, then join the club. Esports Tower members get insider access to industry insights, and with our featured Rumbles, recruiters are taking notice as well. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. Now, before we wrap up this portion of our broadcast from here, we have one more task.
Yes, the fabled
ICCU player of the game.
Yep.
Do you have any suggestions?
Honestly.
And give me a reason. I need a reason.
Oh,
I'm making it more difficult. I upped the ante on the test.
So I think all 3 of my nominees are gonna come out of that series, to be honest.
What?
That was a pretty crazy series, and the Vets really stepped up. But I mean,
sorry, Vets. I guess your return to Esports Tower wasn't explosive enough.
It was explosive, but we also saw them last week, and in this specific series that we just watched was just so nerve-wracking from start to finish. And the Barracudas, they lost the game by a Brazil.
Okay.
So it's just like that series had so many goals scored in it, so many pop-off opportunities from separate players. And honestly, if I had to pick a couple, I would.
What if I gave you 4 instead of 3? Might we see one that came from our earlier game?
Yeah, but then I have to pick a vet, and they all played so well. So if I have a 4th, it's going to be one vet for sure.
This man can't make decisions.
If I was a betting man.
Okay.
If I was a betting man, I would say there's at least 1, probably 2 of the vets on the roster that production is going to give us, to be honest. But
still being extremely vague.
But honestly, I feel like there wasn't any specific player that
Mine is Buddy, Thrift, and Wilds, maybe DJ TJ.
Yeah, you know what?
Hey, DJ TJ.
Right off the bat, yeah. I think, honestly, Buddy RV has to be at least my pick for today from the vet specifically.
Well deserved. I mean, like when the coaches say that this person could carry an entire series.
There you go.
Yep, thank you. They deserve to be highlighted just a wee bit. And no offense, this is a lot of words. Best selfish movement player, but you got it last week. That's what I was informed of. So no nominee for you this week. Someone else.
Mind you, he deserved it. He had a pop-off.
Yes, I totally understand he deserved it, but we got to give the love to someone else. And yes, Thrift. Okay, so.
You're right on top of it.
DJ TJ, Buddy RV, and Thrift are our 3 nominees. I'm going to go with Buddy RV. Actually, you know what? Buddy, I love and appreciate you. You did great in your game. But Thrift, you own gold, and you made up for it. So my nomination's going to you. I'm going to be completely wrong, but that's who I'm nominating. What about you?
I'm going to go with Buddy RV because he didn't have an own goal to make up for.
That's valid. That's totally valid.
And, I mean, he was on the Vets. And honestly, I don't know what we would see if we saw main roster Barracudas against the Vets. But I think if any team has a chance of kind of dethroning that empire,
and you're
it
right.
would be the Vets. And I think the Vets are the highlight team. I know that this is the end. After that grand finals, this is kind of the end of this specific week's tournament.
But
I would really love to see the Vets and the Barracudas play each other next week. I would love to get to cast that game.
Same. That would be so good. It just the amount of just pure skill from both teams, the teamwork, the well-roundedness, it's there, and I want to see them go toe-to-toe. I feel like it'd be extremely exciting.
And the clashing play styles, too. They both teams have kind of different outlooks on how the game should be played or how it at least works for them. And it's really interesting to see the developments that there's multiple ways to dominate a scene. And it just kind of comes down to what either team is comfortable with.
Yep, but for now, buddy, until we see you next week, hopefully, you are the ICCU player of the game, and the ICCU player of the game is brought to you by the Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, like Idaho Central's helping members achieve financial success. Buddy RV is the Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game, and go ahead and check them out on TikTok if you want to. Anyone else want me to give you a TikTok or Twitch plug? Let me know. You can find me on Twitter, or just put it in your name. I can find you pretty easily. I like video game content. I scroll TikTok for video game content, okay? That's how I learn a lot of things about, like, Rocket League, like, skill shots.
Fair enough, yeah. Like the breezy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it looks way too complicated for me to try.
If it's got more than, like, 2 steps, then it's, like, mostly useless.
Yeah, I saw someone that did, like, a cross map, not even using the flip reset and using it at the very end, but it looks like they're almost doing a flip reset. The name had yet to be determined when I saw it on TikTok, but I was like, how is this humanly possible? With that being said, that is going to be the end of our broadcast here for the Esports Tower, and we want to give a quick congratulations to all of our teams on a fantastic night of Rocket League. The Vets were able to claim their old glory, though they're operating under a new name, I'm going to say they're claiming the old glory of the Rebel title and taking it away from themselves for the first time in our fall season thus far. Next week, the Stingrays, Wolves, Mammoths are all back in for another shot. Will they be able to take down the champions and prevent a double crown or possibly a future triple crown? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Tune in next week at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday to find out more. We're going to close out today's broadcast with the top 5 plays of the game presented to you today by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your critical thinking skills into real time with more than 10 jobs offering $20,000 in bonuses and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is the best team out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. From all of us here at Boise State, have a great evening. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you later. Come on! I blame it on both of you guys having social media handles in front of your names that hit the crossbar and bounced directly down twice. It's a name diff. But that being said, come on! Oh my gosh!
Drift saved the first shot, too. It was going in. Okay.
Opportunity. 2 players commit to that after the demo. This could be dangerous. They're just barely able to keep it in play. If the Vets had any more control of that ball, it would have been a disaster. But TJ not able to pinch it past them. They're battling at their own midfield line now. For once, they don't feel like the pressure is in their favor. And Crazy Cat will wind up and find the back net. And we'll have to see if the kind of pressure the Vets had over the last game reigns true. Looks like actually we have C is now not playing anymore. We have Nif in.
I think Nif might have DC'd, and to prevent a reiteration of what occurred in our previous game, they just had someone come in immediately, and so we didn't notice. Or Nif accidentally did. I don't know the process, because that was an awkward kickoff coming out from the Stingrays.
It's hard to say without having access to their comm. Nevertheless, the coordination was not there in that moment. We'll have to see if they can fix it in this last 30 seconds, but Stingrays steadily leading. The Wolves need a way out, but they will not be allowed it. The security goal from Essentially Boss all the way from the midfield line.
Is gonna touch that crossbar. Reset play coming out from Buddy RV.
Essentially Boss clearing it out using his own backboard. An opportunity here, but TJ is able to keep it out. Pass over to his teammate, best selfish movement player, who takes the double tap. And that is possibly one of the better team plays we've seen in a while. Oh, I wish we had a replay on that one.